Before you visit Mars, travel tips. You'll need to survive. If you're reading this, you're already considering a journey to Mars, and I'm delighted. I've guided travelers across the red planet for years, and I can tell you with complete sincerity that nothing prepares you for the moment you first step onto Martian soil. The planet is harsh, beautiful, indifferent, and unforgettable. My job is to help you enjoy it without accidentally freezing, suffocating, or wandering into a crater. Think of this guide as me sitting across from you at a cafe, on Earth, of course, leaning in with the kind of insider advice you only get from someone who's survived a few dust storms and knows which hotels actually have decent rehydrated clam chowder. Your trip begins long before you land. The voyage from Earth takes several months, and I always tell travelers to pack more patience than clothing. Space is tight, gravity is optional, and your fellow passengers will become intimately familiar with your favorite snacks and least favorite habits. When you finally arrive, you step out of the shuttle and into the airlock, and the first thing that hits you is the sound. The soft, constant hiss of machinery working very hard to keep you alive. I always tell visitors that this is the Martian equivalent of birdsong. If you don't hear it, something is terribly wrong. I'm your guide for the next 20 minutes or so. Give or take a few depending on how many times you stop to gasp at the scenery or at your own oxygen levels. My name doesn't matter. On Mars, names are less important than the integrity of your suit seals. What matters is that I've been giving tours here long enough to know which dunes are safe to climb, which rocks are older than human civilization, and which shadows are actually dust devils waiting to ruin your day. So take a breath, through your regulator please, and let me show you the red planet, the way only a slightly jaded, deeply affectionate Martian travel guide can. My most important piece of advice: never unzip anything unless I tell you to. When the airlock doors open with a metallic sigh, the first thing you see is the color. Not red exactly, more like a burnt orange mixed with rust and the memory of a brick someone left out in the sun too long. The dust hangs in the air in a way that makes everything look like an old photograph. It's beautiful, in a desolate, I hope you brought moisturizer sort of way. The gravity is the next thing you notice. It's like someone turned down the weight of your bones. You take a step and feel your body float just a little longer than it should. People always laugh the first time they walk on Mars. It's a nervous laugh, the kind you hear from someone who's just realized they're standing on a planet where the atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide and the temperature could flash freeze a latte. Remember, I say, a Martian day, called a sol, is 24 hours and 39 minutes long. That extra 39 minutes is perfect for journaling, meditation, or contemplating your life choices. I always give the same welcome speech. Congratulations, you've arrived on Mars. Paris has romance, Venice has canals, and Mars has, well, rocks. But they're very old rocks, very scientifically important rocks, and you'll learn to love them, or at least tolerate them, by the end of this tour. We'll make our way toward the rover shuttle, and as we drive across the dusty plain, I'll tell you about the places you'll be staying during your visit. First choice is the Olympus Mons Overlook Resort. Imagine a hotel perched on the edge of the largest volcano in the solar system. Olympus Mons rises 13.6 miles into the sky, 3 Mount Everests stacked on top of each other, wearing a trench coat and pretending to be a single mountain. The slopes are so gentle you could walk up them without ever feeling like you're climbing. You won't, of course. The resort has a strict no wandering off policy after the incident with the influencer who tried to film a sunrise from the summit and was never seen again. Inside the resort, the decor is minimalist, partly because it's fashionable and partly because shipping furniture to Mars is expensive. The windows are reinforced to withstand dust storms, and every room comes with complimentary oxygen refills and a freeze-dried continental breakfast. Second, we have the Valles Marineris Canyon Suites. If you prefer your accommodations with a touch of danger, the Canyon Suites are carved directly into the cliffs of Valles Marineris. a canyon system so vast it could stretch from Los Angeles to New York. When you stand on the balcony, the canyon yawns beneath you like the mouth of an ancient beast. The suites are cozy, warm, and equipped with emergency shelters in case the cliff decides it's had enough of your weight. The canyon winds howl at night, creating a sound that some guests describe as haunting and others describe as the reason I didn't sleep for 3 days. Finally, we offer the Borealis Outpost Hostel. For the budget traveler, the Borealis Outpost offers a charming, rustic experience near the northern lowlands. The sunsets here are spectacular, long streaks of blue and violet across the sky, a phenomenon caused by the way Martian dust scatters sunlight. The Wi-Fi is terrible, but that's part of the charm. You're on Mars. If you wanted good Wi-Fi, you should have stayed on Earth. Dining on Mars is a culinary adventure in rehydration. We'll stop at a small dome-shaped building, the Red Dune Bistro. Inside, the air is warm and smells faintly of spices and sterilized equipment. The chef always greets us with a flourish, and I'll explain that Martian cuisine is less about flavor and more about creativity. Everything here is rehydrated. Pasta, steak, vegetables, desserts, they all begin as small, sad packets of dehydrated ingredients that spring to life with the addition of water. The chef insists that this process enhances the natural essence of the food, which is a polite way of saying we're doing our best with what we have. The tiramisu is surprisingly good, though the texture is slightly off, like it's trying to remember what tiramisu is supposed to be. At the Gale Crater Cafe, you can enjoy a creme brulee torched with an actual engineering laser. It's a novelty, yes, but also a reminder that on Mars, even dessert requires advanced technology. And then there's the Olympus Mons grill, where the famous lava burger is served. It contains no lava and very little burger, but the branding is excellent. Of course, you won't want to miss the attractions. The wonders of Mars, both natural and questionably marketed. We'll drive across the plains toward Olympus Mons, as the mountain rises slowly on the horizon, growing larger and larger until it dominates the sky. It's so big that your brain will struggle to comprehend it. The slopes are gentle, almost deceptively so, but the sheer scale is overwhelming. People always ask if they can climb it, I say. Technically, yes. Practically, no. You'd need weeks of supplies, a team of experts, and a strong desire to never see your loved ones again. Next, we'll visit Valles Marineris. Standing on the edge of the canyon, you'll feel small, smaller than you've ever felt. The wind rushes up from the depths, carrying with it the scent of ancient rock and the faint whisper of geological time. The polar ice caps are another highlight. Vast fields of frozen carbon dioxide and water ice stretch out like alien tundra. The light reflects off the surface in shimmering waves, creating an otherworldly glow. It's beautiful, but also deadly. One wrong step, and you could fall into a crevasse older than human civilization. We'll make a brief stop at the face on Mars, a mesa that looks vaguely like a human face if you squint and have a vivid imagination. It's a tourist trap, but a beloved one. The gift shop sells t-shirts, mugs, and holographic postcards that insist the face is real. It's not, but the merch is excellent. Finally, we'll visit the rover memorial sites. Spirit, opportunity, curiosity, perseverance, and the brave little helicopter Ingenuity. All pioneers in their own right. The rovers sit quietly in the dust, their missions complete, their stories etched into the history of exploration. Visitors often grow emotional here. Even the dust seems to settle more gently. Mars offers a surprising number of other recreational activities. Low-gravity parkour is popular among thrill-seekers, though it requires a waiver that essentially says, if you break yourself, that's on you. Sandboarding down the dunes is another favorite pastime. The sand moves beneath you like a living thing, shifting and sliding in unpredictable ways. It's exhilarating and occasionally terrifying. Meteorite hunting is a quieter activity, perfect for those who enjoy long walks and the possibility of finding a rock worth more than their shuttle ticket. And then there are the sunsets. On Mars, the sky turns blue at dusk, a soft, ethereal blue that feels like a secret, whispered by the planet itself. People come here just to see that moment when the sun dips below the horizon and the world shifts from rust to sapphire. Souvenirs. Every traveler leaves with dust in their boots, but our gift shops offer more intentional keepsakes. You'll find jars of Martian dust, replica rover wheels, freeze-dried chocolates shaped like Olympus Mons, and rocks that look exactly like every other rock on Mars, but they're yours duty-free. And of course, there's the official Mars tourist tote bag, which I hand out at the end of every tour. Dust-resistant, durable, and printed with, "I went to Mars and all I got was this tote bag and mild psychological trauma." It's stylish, practical, and guaranteed to spark conversations back on Earth. Final thoughts before you go. As our tour comes to an end, we'll stand together on a ridge overlooking the plains. The wind is gentle now, carrying only a faint whisper of dust. The sky is beginning to shift toward evening, the colors deepening, the shadows stretching long across the land. Mars is harsh, I'll say. It's unforgiving. It doesn't care if you're here. But it's also beautiful in a way that gets under your skin. Once you've walked these plains, once you've seen a Martian sunset, you'll never forget it. You'll take one last look at the horizon, and for a moment, the planet feels almost welcoming. Almost. The end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.